play games.
It's just me, so I hope that you guys are along for this ride. Thank you so much for being here. And I am my own moderator, so I don't have any questions for myself. So I can say that it's really a really nice welcome. You know, we walked off the set 2.5 years ago, and to come to these things and see all you guys and just as much excitement as ever before is really touching for me. And really lovely, and it's great to see a lot of familiar faces and new faces. And I will answer pretty much anything and everything. So if there's anything in specific you'd like me to discuss about the show or anything like that, please ask away.
What are you working on now?
What am I working on now?
Besides your kids.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I gotta be honest. But I am getting back in the game after a longer than intended break. So we'll see. We'll see. The sci-fi world could be calling my name again. Who knows? It'd be very cool. My sister, yeah. So she was saying that Lost Girl was kind of left open to spin-offs, basically. You know, I don't know if they intended to. I mean, I think they intended to do that, to leave it open. I love that the show was left with Beau's message and Beau's legacy of sort of passing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, okay.
Hi,
You gonna join me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you Anna?
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Hi.
If you don't need me, I'll go.
No, be here. Are you my moderator?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I have a moderator. That's so great. I was told that there wasn't one.
Oh, I'll get out of here.
Well, then, this is so much better. I will finish answering your question, though. And I'm Anna, by the way.
It's a pleasure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Blacker. I'm the creator and moderator of the Nerdist Writers panel and the Nerdist Comics panel. I'm thrilled to be here. We don't have time for the rest of your questions. What have you guys talked about? What's going on?
Not a lot yet, I have to be honest. We just got started. So
Do you want to finish answering that question?
I do. I just thought it was really nice that, you know, Beau's legacy was really left to be passed along to a younger woman, her knowledge and everything that she learned, and it set it up that there was a lot more to come and a lot more to be ready for. So I just loved that so much. So thank you for your question. Okay, good. Me too.
You're a delight.
Thank you.
What are you on? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen, I assume most of you guys have come to see Anna do other talks before, right? By round of applause, is that true? All right. So I have some questions I want to ask, but we are going to mostly leave it up to them.
Okay.
I hope that's okay.
It's more than okay.
All right. And again, I will leave at any time. If you want to get rid of me, I'm glad to go.
didn't know you
I have a
were
lot of
here.
work to do, so it is really fine. I have a book to write. Guys, check out my new Star Wars book, Star Wars, Join the Resistance. It's out March 7th from Amazon.com or your local bookstore. Anna, look, Lost Girl, it started, like 2005?
I don't know. When did it start? Not 2005.
It started in, like,
that
the
doesn't seem
80s, right?
It started in the 80s. God. I don't know. When did we start?
But,
what
like,
year is it now? 2017?
It could have been last month.
Oh, a while ago.
My point is, 2010, thank you. My point is, you were a working actor before this. You know, you had done series, you had done guest spots and things like that. I'm curious to hear about why this role was different for you. What led to this role? What was the audition process like?
You know what? I actually still have my audition tape.
Let's put it up.
Lost Girl. Roll the clip. No. Well, I mean, this came along like a lot of auditions do, just, you know, through my amazing agents. And it was something that I actually put on tape as any audition. And I thought, wow, this is a really cool project. Wow, this is a really cool role. I wonder who will get it. Okay, you know, I put it on tape, and I loved it, and it got a response.
And I apologize, I'm going to interrupt a bunch because I want to sort of dig deeper on this stuff.
Okay.
But do you remember what the material was for the audition?
I do. It was a scene between Lauren and Beau where I rip off her collar, she's wearing the ashes necklace, and I say something like, "This is your dog collar." Now I can't remember it, but that scene, which was in episode 8, which was what we shot first actually as our pilot, that scene between Bo and Lauren, where she's hurt. Bo is very, very hurt by Lauren. That was that one, and oh God, what was the other ones? I can't remember the other ones.
How was this role, when you were first given the sides or the script, how was it different from stuff you had been playing, or was it different?
Well, I think the show itself was so different, but oh, bye, little baby. The show was really, really unique, but also to play such a sexy, sexual woman and have her be really more than one-dimensional was unique to what was coming my way. So, her sexuality was at the core of who she was, rather than something she sort of wore on top, and that was really cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So then, once you got the role, I'm curious to hear about, how do you approach this character? How do you play that sexuality, but play the other things? Look, I don't understand actors. It's, I'm a television writer. I hardly ever run into actors. It's like a weird magic. So explain the process, your process to us, please.
Well, my process, with any role, it's different, with Bo in particular, I think that she was starting so new into the Fae world. She was brand new. So I kind of felt brand new to the role as well. So we were kind of starting in the same place. So the show really unfolded in a way that made sense for me. And as in terms of playing Fae, you don't play Fae. You can't do that. You have to just play the reality of the world that you're in. So it was a supernatural world where, there's creatures and you have to fight and use your powers, but that's just, Tuesday in Faeland. So, it really just, the world they created for us made it very easy to connect to the characters and to the world. I'm wearing Bo's boots right now. So I'm channeling Bo. I haven't worn these in a very, very long time.
And as long as you're not going to show, so am I.
He's actually wearing a pair of Bo's boots.
Yeah. You can get him down at booth 21. What was the fun of the show for you? What was the candy of the show?
What was the fun? Oh my God.
I'm not going to ask about the worst part.
I know, the worst part. There's no worst part, to be honest. It was all great. We had hard days, you know. We had disagreements, for sure. But they were all part of the process for us. The show was just fun. The crew is your audience every day. So they, to have them on board for 5 seasons and not getting tired of us.
Sure.
And just being able to kind of entertain each other. And then once it started to resonate with audiences, that was the candy. Was it candy, you said? Yeah.
It's a writer's room talk. And I'm curious to hear, look, let's talk about the sexy bits.
Okay.
That's my whole question.
Okay. Just an open-ended sexy bits?
Yeah. Anything you want to tell us? What were the... Hold on, I'm going to rephrase this. What were the challenging parts of the sexy bits?
Well, I got to make out a lot with Chris Holden Reed and Zoe Palmer, so that was pretty
difficult.
lucky. That was hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, it was great. I mean, it's. I think I've told this story before, but the first time, the first time my husband
This is
saw,
just for us.
This is just for you and I.
Yeah.
You are really wonderfully weird. You know that.
I've done 4 panels today.
I'm enjoying you quite more than I can tell.
Wait
But
till they drag me off and you find out I'm not the moderator.
there's a bleeding moderator out there somewhere. Oh yeah, my husband, when he saw the first episode that we had done, and Chris and I had this love scene, and my husband was just like, oh, wow, okay, he couldn't really take it, and I thought, yeah, we did it, and also, sorry, sweetie, But love scenes are what they are. I mean, they're awkward. You're naked. You want good light. You want to smell good.
It's like as if there are no cameras.
As if there's
It's
no
like you want the
cameras.
same thing.
Yeah, but there are cameras and people. It's called a closed set, so they have the minimal amount of people on set. I've been on sets doing love scenes where some people have to wear hoods so they can't see you. This was kind of weird. So some people are hooded in these black hoods. It's odd. It's something my husband and I like to incorporate into our own love
Sure.
life. But
Get that eyes wide shut shit.
yeah, I mean, but it was as comfortable as it could be. I think I have had my fill of love scenes. I don't know how
Yours
many
and
are in
several
my
other people.
future.
It feels like you've taken it for the whole team.
I really did.
Love scenes versus action scenes, or maybe love scenes are a kind of action scenes.
They are.
But like, tell me about the different skills involved and the different kinds of like. I would imagine for either one of those, it's sort of hard to be in the moment, which is your job as an actor.
It is. I mean, you know, love scenes too. You just have to go for it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So you just be in the moment. You're right. That's what you do.
Yeah. All right.
You're wise. You're very wise.
Well, I read a lot. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Do you have anything to plug?
No.
We'll get out of here in 20 minutes.
I don't have anything
All right.
coming up. I've taken a very long break.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I have a few things to plug.
Okay.
We're going to get to some questions here. Go ahead, ask your question. Make sure it's a question.
Yes.
I don't want some preamble. We know you love the show. We know you love Anna.
Is this on? Hello?
Go ahead.
We can hear you.
Hi, Anna. I just wanted to say I felt some really strong connections to a lot of the characters over the course of the series, and it was really hard to let everyone go. Like I just fell in love with Bo and with Kenzie and everybody, and I just wondered what that was like for you. And for the cast, when you had those final moments and had to say goodbye.
It was hard. It was really hard. Thank you for saying that about the show. You know, I feel like, Bo doesn't really belong to me. I played Bo, and I was so blessed to play her, but she kind of belongs to everybody. She really, really does. So I feel like she sort of lives on in everyone that knew her and loved her. I really do. And the final moments, I mean, when we rehearsed the final scene, there was lots of tears. But we really wanted to finish strong. And Zoe and I, about 2 months before we wrapped, we were like, we could feel kind of everyone coming apart at the seams a bit because the show was ending and we were going to have to say goodbye. And we thought, like, let's finish so strong and so happy and just go out with such a blaze of glory. In our own minds anyway. And we did. We walked away so strong. And I left the set that night with my husband. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning after hugging everyone and saying goodbye. And we got into our car and we're driving home. And I said to him, it feels like the studio is just like disappearing into a little bit of smoke. It just feels like the best dream I ever had. Oh, now you're going to make me cry. But that's the truth. That's the truth. We loved it, and we said goodbye with a lot of strength.
I'm glad you guys were able to, pull that last off, well, and make the best of it.
Have you
Thank you.
watched the final episodes?
I have.
You're able to go back and watch that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the final episode. I think we, tweeted live or something. I did. I mean, I remember being very invested in that final episode.
Did it hit you as emotionally watching it? Did you feel a separation from it? Because it's obviously many months later, or probably at least weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt really proud of it. I felt proud of it when I read the episode too. I remember my heart was racing and I thought, this is the last one I'm going to read. But I was so happy when I finished it. I was so happy with it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Anna, I was just wondering, with so many emotions running ragged through the entire series, what was the most emotional scene for you to film?
Oh my God. Probably Kenzie's death. Yeah, that was a weird one too, because I sat in my trailer for like 11 hours, which like never happened to me, right? So I was waiting and waiting, and I wasn't inside while they were shooting all the stuff that led up to it. So I went in after hours and hours and hours into this building that was full of, lots of background performers and lots of people. It was really hot and sort of energized in there. And yeah, that was very emotional. And I think the one where I go back to see my adoptive mom too, and she's not well, and that was very emotional too. I don't know. We had some tender moments
Awesome, thank
on
you.
set. Yeah.
When you're faced with a scene like that, a deep emotional scene, how do you dig in and do it? Do you revisit sadness in your life? Are you in the moment? Are
No.
you playing that character? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm sure all actors work very differently when it comes to stuff like this. For me, it has to be in the truth of the moment. If I start to think of something sad in my own life, it doesn't connect for me. You can think of sad things in your life. You don't burst into tears. They sit in you. So for me, I have to definitely play the moment. I think, when you film a scene, you usually film the master. So it's a big wide shot. And then you move in for close-ups. If you're filming an emotional scene, that's a shitty way to film because you want to have your performance be in your close-up. So I think the scene with my adoptive mom was the first time I had the courage as an actor to ask that my close-up be first.
Great.
So, and then I thought, okay, I want the setup to be my close-up first, because that's usually most of what they will use. And I went back to my trailer and thought, oh shit, I hope I can hit the scene. Because now they're all setting up for the close-up, and oh my God, what if I can't do it? But I just tried to trust, and I was working with a great actress.
That's great.
And so it sometimes it doesn't connect, I'll be honest, but usually with great writing and a great, atmosphere, it can.
That's terrific. Yes, ma'am.
So 2 years ago, we saw Rachel and Emmanuel, and we
asked them who their favorite kiss was, and it was you, of course.
for both of
For
them.
both of them, they said it was you out of anyone they had kissed on the show. So our question for you is the same question. Who was your favorite kiss?
Good.
Oh my God, who didn't I kiss? That's the thing. Who is my favorite kiss? Okay, let me think back. I know. I mean, I've kissed Zoe so much.
Well, they said
and
it's
she's
because you
amazing.
smelt good.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
And your
And
lips
you-
were really soft.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
Oh. God.
Will you guys come to all my panels and ask who the favorite kiss is?
The women are definitely good kissers. They have puffy, glossy lips and they do smell good. Chris can be painful because he was very scraggly, but he's a very powerful kisser, I'll tell you that. But wonderful. I don't know. I kissed Kenzie once, I think.
Yes.
Which we were like, this is so weird. We were being like little kids, but I don't know.
Those are good answers.
There was no bad kiss.
Those are good answers. Who's your favorite member of KISS?
Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Obviously. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Wasn't nervous till I got up here. So Bo is a very sexual character,
Thank you.
obviously. Yeah, thank you. I mean, so I was just wondering how that kind of transferred into your personal life. Like, did that spark your own sexuality, like on a whirlwind, or?
Here we go. Look, should we bring your husband up? Is he here? Let me rephrase the question. Was there anything about the character that you did admire and maybe wanted to be more like the character?
More sexually free.
Maybe. But she had more going on than just that.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that. I want to. I really do.
You said you'd answer anything.
I have no idea.
didn't hear
There are no children here, though.
There's no children. Okay.
I said there are no children here.
I think people's sexuality happens at different times in people's lives. I also think it's super private, and I'm not trying to say like,
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm
if
not
you
saying
don't wanna
mind your own
answer, I
business,
was
I'm not
just-
saying that.
I'll say
What I'm
mind your own
saying is,
business.
I do think sexuality really is very private and personal, and it should be. I think it's really, really a big part of who we are.
Yeah.
The way that it can be portrayed in media now is so overt. To me, it can get boring and not very sexy. So what I loved about Bo was that, it was who she was. There was no, she didn't have to like turn it on, You know how there's just people who are just sexy? And they might not even be the prettiest people you've ever seen. They're just sexy.
Yeah.
That was Bo.
Thank you.
But
That's interesting.
oh my God.
Go ahead. I'll answer the next one. Come on up.
Right, I need to check my
Yeah,
phone.
you check your phone. You listen. Only people with microphones are talking. Go ahead. What's your question?
All right, so 4 years ago, Zoe Palmer and Chris Holden Reed were here, and they talked about the awkwardness of Chris walking onto set wearing nothing but a sock and how they reacted to those scenes. So my question is, how did you react to seeing Chris walk onto set wearing just the sock and having to perform those intense sex scenes?
I've seen Chris in a sock a lot. Yeah, the men wear like this kind of socky pouch thing, and women wear like a patch that's taped to your body. It's super sexy.
Making TV is glamorous, you guys.
Chris is a formidably built man. I mean, he's got an incredible physique. I think we can all agree. He's ridiculous, and he's the most concerned about his physique more than anyone else was on set. But he's got a powerful presence, and he's got an incredible body. It's not just like a manipulated gym body. It's like a really, he's gorgeous. He's really gorgeous. But yeah, Chris he's very goofy. So seeing him in a sock, there's a lot of humor that comes about. I'll tell you one thing that are there children here? Like if there's
No.
babies, they won't get this, but okay. A lot of things that male actors, I think there must have been like a male actor workshop at one point, because one thing they always say to women in sex scenes, and I've heard it from several male actors, is, "Forgive me if I do, and forgive me if I don't." So I'll leave it at that.
Then, alrighty. So thank
I'm
you.
so glad I showed up at this. Yes, sir.
So during the final season, Bo kind of goes back and forth between Dyson and Lauren quite a bit, and I was really hoping that she would choose, Dyson in the end, and she kind of ends up with Lauren. So I was wanting to know how you felt about that, if you feel like if she should have chose Dyson, or like how you felt about that.
When I read the finale, I went to Michael Grassi, who wrote the finale, and he was our showrunner in the final season, and he was incredible. And I said to him, the only question I had for him was about her choice at the end. And it's not because I was questioning the choice. I just thought, should Bo make a choice? I mean, she was all about not choosing. And, and so I questioned that, and he said, well, Bo was definitely about not choosing, but our show is also about making a bold choice. And I think that she would naturally make this choice, and I totally agreed. So I'm glad that was who she chose. I mean, fast forward 100 years, and maybe Bo and Dyson are like, remember Lauren? Because at that point, Lauren is gone, sadly.
Right.
But I think that sorry, Zoe. No, but I think that the choice was right.
So for you, with your conception of both characters and what they wanted and everything, you felt like that was the right choice.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. So I wrote a show for many years, and we had sort of a love triangle in it. And our actress, who was fantastic and hilarious, got so invested in the soap opera of it. I mean, really, all the guys did. That when they get a new script, it was like, oh yeah, no, this is good, or I don't know, this is the choice today. Like, yeah, but it's not going to last. Were you invested like the viewer in the soap opera of these people's lives?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember it was season 3, I think, where in the first episode, Bo and Lauren get together. And I was like, it's the first episode. We can't get together in the first episode. And they're like, no, we're going to do it in the first episode. I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, my job is to tell the story that's being written. I certainly had a lot of input in that, but I definitely got invested in that. It felt like it was too soon, you know? Not for everybody.
Do you have a microphone? I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. Yeah.
Hi, hi Anna. My name's Lacey. I'm a big Last Girl fan. Actually came here with a group of people dressed as the cast of Last Girl.
Cool. You look beautiful.
My question is, as you journeyed into Bo and pushed on your own boundaries as an actress, what did you learn the most about yourself as an actress as you experienced this Lost Girl experience?
That's a great question. That's the one I was trying to ask. Thank you. Do you want to?
I think we would have to get a transcript from my therapist.
I am a therapist.
Oh, wow.
I practice in Kirkland. My practice is called Truth Psychotherapy. Lacey Malonis.
What did I learn
I'm sorry,
a lot
save the
about
plugs for
myself?
the end.
Gosh, I learned so much, to be honest. I really did. I learned how to push boundaries. I learned to pick my battles. I learned how to really, truly support people. I learned how to support myself. And I learned to really just pace myself as well and really try to enjoy the moment rather than let it tumble over me and be gone. So those were the big positive things for sure that I learned.
That's a good answer. What did you learn from watching the show?
Oh, jeez. Don't get me started.
It's
but
fair, right?
Quite a lot, and it's become I my favorite shows. I was never a particular sci-fi fan, not a particular fan of anything in that genre, but I became a fan very quickly, and I really, really enjoyed your role, Anna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. So my question is actually more to do with like the costuming side, because each of the characters has like a really, really distinct aesthetic in it, and I love the bow aesthetic. It's pretty much what drives my wardrobe these days. But I was wondering if there's anything that you kind of got jealous of for the other characters, because like Kenzie got to wear a lot of color and a lot of like really frilly, crazy stuff, and you're mostly like in the leather and the corsets and the black. So I was wondering if there was something that you're kind of like, I wish Bo would venture that way sometimes.
I don't know. I got to wear stretchy leggings a lot, so I was really lucky that way. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about Bo's wardrobe is that, yeah, it was sexy and form-fitting, but it was also kind of like practical to be Bo. You know, she could kick butt in it and be ready for any kind of action, you know. The styling of the show was really cool, and I can't believe, honestly, that we never were nominated for anything with the costuming. It really bothered me because there were some really talented people that brought that to life. Ann Dixon originally, and then Noreen Landry. But costuming and hair and makeup tell a story. And you don't really realize that until you're on set and realizing that if you're watching something on television and something feels off, I think Zoe is actually trying to get a hold of me. I'm going to try to call her. But yeah, hair, makeup, and wardrobe tell a story. So you got to know each character because of that incredible wardrobe. And I'm glad you noticed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just pause for a second
You do
just
that.
to see if I can. Can I FaceTime her? It's just gonna see if I can get a hold of Zoe, maybe. And maybe Rachel.
This is great.
Oh no, she's not going to answer.
Someone
should we
someone
leave her a
tweet at her.
message?
Tell her we're trying to reach her.
We'll leave her a message. I know, she did. Oh. callback number, press 5.
Call our agent first.
Hi, Zoe. It's Anna. I've got a couple of people here that wanted to say hello. We miss you. Oh, we've made a baby cry. Oh, God. We miss you, and call me back. Sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
Step up, please.
Oh, hello. How old is that baby? 4 months. Oh. Oh, my God. Beautiful.
Beau is such a femme fatale and such confidence. Did you find yourself taking on some of her attributes, like if you were a shy person, now you're super courageous, or just different traits?
Yeah. The thing about Beau's confidence is it really came from, a true development of strength. I mean, she wasn't just confident. It was not one-dimensional. She really had to embrace her fear to be super confident, which I think is really, on the flight last night here, I sat next to this lovely man who we were talking about heroes, and because he was coming to this convention as well. And, I was thinking about what he said, because heroes don't have to win all the time. They don't have to, they have to fight all the time, and they have to be brave all the time. This is not now my husband, I'm sorry. Hang on. But they don't have to just be confident. There's a real struggle there, and there's a real fight for those around you. And I thought that was really an interesting thing that he and I had spoken about, and I think that sort of ties into Beau's confidence.
Yeah, sir.
So my question is, I guess, since Lost Girl started off as a Canadian show before being picked up on Sci-Fi and brought to the U.S., do you have a preference as to which television market you like to work in? Is there a different culture in the Canadian television market and the production side of things versus the American market? Or do you see more interesting shows being produced in Canada versus America? Or I guess if you could speak a little bit about that, that'd be really cool.
I mean, that's a great question. I just think television has changed so much that it's an international market. I think there's so many networks with great television, great actors, great stories. So I think that at the time that we started, I think we got more of a fair shake in Canada to really get our show off the ground. Maybe we wouldn't have had that same kind of given that much of a chance, I guess, had we been in the U.S. first. I don't know. But I do think it's a international market. I would, you don't have to be on an American show anymore to have a really big, successful show that resonates. So that's a really good question, though.
Let's get into it. What are you watching these days?
I
What's
just
great
started
on
Big
TV?
Little Lies, which is on HBO, which is so not a genre show, but it's good, right?
That was Reese Witherspoon down here. You don't have a microphone.
You taped it? Well,
What else?
great.
What else are you watching?
Chuggington. It's a kids show. I watch
Sure.
a lot of that.
Sure. What is Chuggington up to these days?
You just kind of, there's always peril. There's the tracks are going to break, and they break, and then you get stuck. And then my son loves it. What else am I watching? So Big Little Lies. I'm really behind on a lot of things.
Well, we all are, right? You can't. There's so much good TV right now. You can't catch up. You can't watch everything while it's on.
No, I don't watch anything while it's
Yeah.
on, except Big Little Lies.
And Chuggington.
And Chuggington.
Well, you think about that. We're
I'll
going to
think
come
about
back.
that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so short. Hi. I'm a huge fan of Lost Girl, and I thought that one of the really interesting things about it was that your sci-fi genre tends to be the dominating man and then the arm candy woman, and I really like how Lost Girl made this fluid sexual orientation, and it really opened up kind of overall acceptance. It was more about love than it was about the gender of the person that you were with. And so was that an intention of the writers? Is that what they were trying to go for by making her bisexual? Or maybe not even bisexual would work because it was food, but... But was that the
I want that written
intention?
on my gravestone.
Me too.
Was it intentionally subversive, do you think?
I think it was intentional. I mean, I think that it was there in the pilot. Whenever I say pilot, I'm talking about episode 8, just because that was that was what we shot first. Episode 8 of season 1 was our pilot, and then they went backwards and told the story. Episode 8 and then beyond. But when I read that script, and you know, it was already there. Michelle Lovretta had already created that world with that intention. So, you know, and then our incredible team put together a whole arc that lasted quite a while. And I think that was a really important part of the show. I mean, it was about love.
Were you a fan of genre storytelling before that?
I mean, yes and no. Not in any kind of huge way. I just liked good stories. So I watched Buffy.
Wrong crowd, Anna.
I'm sorry, guys. I watched Buffy. But I also watched not Buffy. I can't remember what else I watched. You know, I just liked good stories, and I always was drawn to female leads. I mean, you know, even to this day, if my husband's like, "We should check out this show," I'm like, "Who's the female lead? I need to know. What does she do?" Because that's just what I love to see.
Was there stuff you watched as a kid that made you say, I want to do this for a living?
Well, my mom is actually a theater teacher, and so I grew up watching plays, and so I would sit and play with my toys while she was rehearsing, and I thought everyone was old on stage, and they were like 20. You know? And so I watched a lot of, and she did a lot of, you know, very interesting theater too. So I watched all kinds of things. And then on TV, I mean, I loved Wonder Woman, and I spent a whole summer dressed as her, and I've said that a lot, I really did. But what did I see? I mean, I remember The Bionic Woman. I remember a really old movie that was actually Helen Hunt was in it. And I didn't know it was Helen Hunt until many years later. And it was called like the Kathy Miller story or something. This is about this woman who gets hit by a car, and it was so dramatic. And then she has to recover. And I remember thinking, wow, that's so cool. Like, what a cool story.
It's interesting to me that, I mean, there's something about growing up surrounded by people who are acting that makes it a feasible job for you, whereas it might seem very distant to others.
It makes it a feasible thing to experiment with, but when you come from a smaller town, which many people do, you don't really think about making a career out of it, actually getting paid to do it. You know, I was in plays when I was a kid. I played a squirrel in the local production of Hansel and Gretel, and I would go and hop across the stage and eat a carrot and then go home to bed. I mean, that's what I did. I was in local commercials and that kind of thing, but it didn't feel like a career. And then when I was in university, or just before university, sometime during university, a couple of movies shot in my hometown, and I went to get a job on them. I was going to work on the crew and learn about, you know, being in the movies. And I remember my job interview was this guy with a cigar. I mean, like, come on, right? And he was like, "The pay is shit, and you're going to get yelled at a lot." I'm sorry, there's no kids, right?
I'll allow it.
Okay. The pay is crap, and you're going to get yelled at a lot. Do you want the job? And I was like, yes, I do. I really do. And I learned very quickly that I did not want to be on that side of the camera. I mean, I always wanted to be an actor, but I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of respect for what everyone on that crew was doing, how hard they're working, and what they're bringing to the creative process, and how much they're nurturing it. So it was a really good experience.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my wife and I were huge fans of Tamsin, and your guys' chemistry up until you became a couple. And our thoughts were kind of like, what do you think about how that kind of happened, of how it kind of weakened Tamsin after you guys became together?
Or maybe you don't think it did.
Well, weakened Tamsin or weakened the relationship?
Tamsin, because she's got all needy and clingy and not
Well,
really
you know what?
badass anymore.
It was discussed, actually, because what worked so well about their relationship was that it was so adversarial, but also so respectful. But she had feelings, and that's what happened, you know? So it was just, that was the story that was told.
It's interesting to see the different sides of these characters under different circumstances.
It is. I mean, that's not something that you would expect from Tamsin necessarily, but she fell in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good question.
Hey, sorry.
That's okay.
I have a cold.
Do you want some water?
Take your time.
Ask
Take
your
your time.
question.
You're from Canada. I'm from Canada. Sorry.
Do you want to tell the person behind you so you can say it a little quieter, and then they can repeat it for us?
You know what? I think.
Just wondering, where do you think it's going as a country in the way that we make TV?
Thanks.
She wants to know where you think Canada is going in the way it changes
In the way that we make TV.
in the way that they make TV now.
Well, that's a very good question. I think that Canadian television has, you know, I'm from Canada. I grew up watching, I don't know if you're from Canada, so you might remember The Littlest Hobo, which was
Every Canadian loves this show.
And the Beachcombers. I mean, but The Littlest Hobo was about a dog who helped people. You know, how Canadian is that? Oh my God. I mean, come on. When we came up to do season 1 of the show, my husband, who's American, was watching some Canadian television, and he said, "What is it? Is that a real show? Is this a real show?" I'm like, "Yes, Seth, it is."
Canadian shows seem like the kind of shows that would be on 30 Rock as pretend shows.
As pretend shows. I completely agree with you. But I do think Lost Girl was the beginning of a wave of Canadian television that all of a sudden, you know, the first season I kept hearing, "Your show doesn't look Canadian. Your show looks so American." And I said, "Thank you."
And that was actually part of my question.
Yeah.
Because Lost Girl came first, and then a couple years later we got Orphan Black that hit really big, with the help from, like, I guess BBC America and stuff. So I was just wondering, like, in that direction, where do you see? Do you think that Canada should, like, go make more genre stuff, or do you think that you would see more non-genre stuff coming out of Canada?
I think the playing field's pretty level now. I think Canadian television can be any kind of, you know, it could be a genre show or not. And the stories that are being told on Canadian television now are incredible.
As you say, it's an international market.
It
now. I
is,
mean,
and the talent there has always been amazing. It's I don't know what it was about Canadian television that had a very unique kind of earnestness to it. But
what could it be? Canada?
It could be Canada. My husband still jokes that we wear acid-washed jeans in Canada, so he thinks that's
I think an interesting point is raised, though. I think Lost Girl was sort of a watershed show in many ways.
It really was.
I wonder, do you guys get recognized in that way?
No.
Yeah. Get it out there. That was my plan.
No, but I, you know, when people would say it looks American, I would say, well, it's Canadian. So this is what a Canadian show looks like now. And I was really proud of it.
Yeah, as well you should be.
Well, like, what was one of the funnest, most memorable? I cannot speak. Oh my God. Most memorablest, like, moments in Lost Girl. Like, what was like the most funnest parts and like most memorable that will stick in your memory forever?
Oh my God.
Are there scenes? Are there episodes? Are there even interactions that you had in that span of time that, to you, sort of encapsulate what it was to make that show?
PG-13, Anna.
I know, I'm really swearing a lot. You know, the thing about making television is that it's a real community of people that come together. So, and you go through a lot. You know, we became so close. We went through so many things together as people. You know, helping people through hard times. I mean, like we were a big family, and that feeling in me is always going to be there. I mean, I'll never have that experience again, and I shouldn't. I mean, it was so unique and very specific for that time in my life. So I'm friends with everyone from the cast. I think that says a lot about our show. I stay in touch with the crew. And so there's really, to pinpoint one thing, I mean, the first season was so exciting because we didn't know what we were getting into. And so we had a lot of fun. And the first season too, we had a lot of Creature of the Week kind of episodes. And the show kind of got away from that after a while. But the Creature of the Week stuff was kind of fun because we were like, oh, you know, it was like we were learning about the Fae. So I don't know. There's a great question. I wish I had like really specific things for you, but it's the whole package. It's the best I can say.
That's a very good answer.
Thank you.
Hi, so I was just wondering, out of all like the weapons or artifacts that like appeared on the show, was there anyone that you like fell in love with, or you were able to keep or wanted to
Well, I
keep?
have my dagger, the one that goes on my leg. I have that in my closet. just high enough. High enough so my son can't reach it. But I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I still actually have a fight stick that is in my living room at the moment. Because my son does play with that. That was from the show. He's going to do some damage. I don't know. There was all kinds of cool stuff. Our props department was so inventive. I loved the book, all of Trick's books, and I loved Trick's lair. I always loved doing scenes in there because there was always the cool stuff that we got to play with.
Cool.
Hi. My question is, since Zoe Palmer's on Dark Matter now, is there any chance of seeing you on Dark Matter?
I don't know.
Write your congressman. It's the only way.
Start a campaign.
That's how these things get done.
Yeah, Zoe's on it, and so is Anthony Lemke, who was on Lost Girl as well. I don't know if the right role was there and it could work. I would love to do it. I don't know.
Well, we'll rally. You guys, tweet at Dark Matter. Get Anna on it. Yeah.
Hi, Anna. I was just, well, I had a question, but it was like sort of related to the prop thing.
Okay.
But other than like what the keepsakes that you might have gotten from the show, what about like wardrobe and all? I was just curious, what happened to Bo's car?
I know, right?
Are you accusing her of something?
No, I mean like, did
She was
someone
nowhere near
at
it.
the end of the series? Did someone take it? And
those go back to Transpo.
I believe Jay Firestone probably still has that car. He was our executive producer.
I think the question is, what did you steal from
What
set?
did I steal? Well, it was
What can you
kinda-
admit to
It was
stealing?
kind of given to me. I have a
or
lot.
did you have a favorite outfit that you wanted to take?
You know, I have so many of Bo's clothes. The thing is, I live in Southern California, so it's too hot there to wear them. But I have a lot of her stuff. I mean, I am wearing her shoes right now, her boots. I have a lot of her lingerie. I have jackets. I have the knife. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff that was custom made for me too. So that's kind of cool to have.
And how about anybody else on the cast that might have taken things?
Yeah, I heard.
Are you a
actually.
cop?
Yeah, I know.
Because the show was so awesome as far as the props and,
Yeah.
and what the
No, I'm
people
with
were
you.
using. I was wondering, like did Tamsin want a certain artifact or did
Was it a free for all at the end? Were you just grabbing
bit of a
like
free-for-all.
supermarket sweep?
It was. I mean, everything was tailored for us. Trust me, when you try clothes on in a wardrobe fitting, and then they're like, "Well, take this in, do this," and they put all these pins, and then you go to try it on again, and it looks amazing. You're like, "Wow, everyone should just get their clothes tailored." I mean, that's really the key. But when things are made for you like that, it's nice to be able to take them home. So everyone kind of got to keep Chris got to keep a lot of his stuff. Rick, I think, everyone did.
Tweet at him, ask for pictures.
thank you.
We got to get through these last few
actually-
questions real quick.
Her name's Tamsin. I'm not just calling her Tamsin. Do you mind bringing my purse over? And I'll show you guys what one of my little crew gifts was to the crew.
In the meantime,
yes.
what is your question?
Was Bo written in a specific age range? Because I found it very refreshing that she wasn't like a young teenager. Or was it they were just searching for the right actress and then they found you?
I believe it was the latter part because Bo was originally 22.
And you were only 18 when you
And
started.
I was like 15. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't play 22.
Weird casting.
So he was originally 22. I was much older than 22. I was 35 when I booked the show. So I always say I booked my ingenue role at 35. So they made her, I think, 29 or something, or 28 or something slightly more realistic. But yeah, she was originally supposed to be a bit younger. But I like that she wasn't super young because she had that past, and a lot of pain from that past. She had to be a fully blossomed woman, I think.
Awesome. Thanks. I think you were really well cast in the role.
Thank you very much. I'll show you guys this. This was what I had made for the crew. It's my car. It's Bo's car. And every crew member has one of these, and it has a little engraving on the back. I gave them other stuff too, but this was just one of the things I wanted them to have.
Yes, Captain America.
Thank you. So I loved that at the center of the show was a really healthy female relationship between you and Kenzie, and I loved how they stayed respectful of that through the whole series. And so it made me curious, do you know what the ratio of women to men writers was on the show?
Well, it was different every season. We had like a core group of writers that were pretty much always there, and then different people brought in. I don't know. There was a lot of female writers on the show.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of feminist perspective that went into writing it.
There was, but there was also from the male writers too. Each writer brought something different, and the thing about being a writer,
I can't wait to hear it.
I don't know anything about actually, but I do imagine is hard to come onto an existing show and find the voice of characters in a really honest way. Sometimes if we had a new writer come on and I would see the script come with their name on it, I think, okay, let's see, let's not like see how they do. It's not that. It's just that it's a hard thing to do. And I have to say that, 9 times out of 10 with almost every script I read, it was pretty bang on. They brought some great people in. And if anything felt a little bit off, people were open to making those changes. So our writers were incredible.
And I'll say to the credit of the entire, collaboration from the writers to the actors to the directors to the crew, the show had a voice, and it was the characters had very specific voices, and the show had something to say in addition to all the fun genre or soap opera stuff. So I imagine it was not a difficult show to write for.
No, people, were excited if they had the opportunity to write on the show, which was really, an honor for me it was great. It was really, I'm super proud of it.
Thank you.
Yes, last question.
So as an actress, when you take a role in a genre piece, do you think about, or does somebody warn you, oh my God, the fandom is so passionate, I'm going to be doing comic conventions, I'm going to be speaking in front of hundreds of nerds, not you guys, you're cool. But does that even come on the radar at all?
I had heard whispers and rumors of such things, but I had no idea until the first, it was after the first season, I think, and we came onto a stage at Fan Expo in Toronto, and we felt like the Faye Beatles. We were like, wow. People were so excited. When I meet all of you guys in line, and your energy is palpable, and your excitement is palpable, and I didn't expect that. I didn't know that would happen. And then you feel a real responsibility for the show. But yeah, I think the roles for women in sci-fi are incredible. People have asked if I would do sci-fi again, and of course I would. It's really about the role, not about the genre. And I don't know. I think that I've been very, very blessed. And to come to these events and see, maybe, 10, 15 years, I might have like 4 people still here. I don't know. But it's really very heartwarming for me to be here with you guys and to still feel your excitement for the show. It means a lot to me, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you guys for coming. You'll be here in 10 years to see her, right?
I'm going to just see if Zoe called me back. She did not. I know. I totally missed the opportunity. Damn. Next time. Thank you, guys.
For honor, for the watch. Witness the finest in melee combat as Jean de Guizaume, Gabriel, and Teutonic Tycho Brahe face off in 4v4 combat in Dominion.